Okay, I thought I would do a quick video on the new editor in eBay. They've upgraded their photo editor, actually their entire listing editor. And I'm not sure if everybody sees this yet. The way eBay rolls out stuff, sometimes you don't see it. Sometimes some people get it, some people don't. So if you have this one, it's pretty nice actually. I'm kind of digging it. So let's take a look at it. What I'm going to do is edit a picture. And one of the things that's a little bit different is when you come into edit a draft. That's where I'm at. So let's go from resume draft here. And when you come in, the first thing you see is the pictures on top, which is kind of nice because it's usually in our workflow anyway, how we're doing it. So what we'll do is we'll click on this one picture, and now in the past you had to edit a picture and then close it down, and then it had to load back in the little block, and you had to click on the next block and that kind of thing. Well, they've kind of sped up this workflow where you can actually scroll through the pictures and take a look at and edit each one as you go, so you don't have to keep going back. So that's kind of nice. So what my workflow is, I generally take the contrast down or up, and then I bring in the lightness to bring the background in and bring out the details in the item, and then you save it, and then you go to the next one. And this is a shot I do from the top just to kind of show that it's in good shape inside as best you can see. It's hard to see sometimes, but just try to bring it up to where it looks natural. If you go too much, see, it starts to get a little orange there, and then back it up somewhere around there. And you can play with these two settings to kind of get it to look right. But what you're after is really getting a solid white background. And these are gray, so gray is actually, in photography, is actually the color we use for reference. So it actually works really well on gray stuff. But the oranges can get a little too orange if you bring them up, or yellow, and they can kind of run the gamut. So you want to kind of keep it right in there. You don't need to be real bright. And the ruler is kind of a good kind of, I know what color my ruler is, so I kind of keep that in mind to see if, for some reason I've got two ruler shots here. Is that right? Oh, no. I get tricked by that all the time. So basically it takes forever to load sometimes. So anyway, yeah, okay, so there's the ruler shot. Yeah, I forget, after you save, it doesn't advance to the next one, so you just want to keep hitting the little button. So yeah, that one looks good. Yeah, I guess it looks good. All right, we'll go into the next one. And again, I usually just change the contrast first a little bit, especially on gray stuff, and then just a little tiny bit on the brightness is all it takes. Save it, go to the next one. This is my routine for shoes. I shoot the same setup, the same poses, so to speak, for each one for shoes each time. And that gives me the ability to have a quick workflow, and I don't have to think about, if I get interrupted, I can say, oh yeah, I know exactly what shoe I'm on because I know exactly what pose I'm on. And I do the same poses with a few exceptions. Every now and then, if there's something unique on the shoe, I might take another picture, of that, like a logo or something like that. But other than that, I mean, I'll take take pictures of them in this exact same order, and you don't have to think about it. It makes you go faster. And after I'm uploading one picture, I'm setting up the next one. So, it's kind of a fast workflow. You can do, realistically, I see a lot of people on YouTube talking about how fast they can list and all this good stuff. Well, listing, the way our workflow works, Marie will go ahead and do the, I'm going to sharpen this one up a little bit. Probably not going to help a lot, but just kind of a blurry there. It's hard to get a close-up sometimes with tags, so, but we do our best. We usually take a picture of each tag because this is an 8.5. We'll save that. We'll double check the next one too to make sure they're both 8.5, because we have had shoes that are different size. We just recently sold a pair actually that were different size, and we disclosed it, but it's still kind of a slow sale when you've got two different sizes. We had a lady that had two different size feet, she said, and these were the best fitting shoes she ever had, so that was good. All right, so I'm done with this, and once I'm done with all of them, I don't have any more to photograph, I'll just click done, and there's all my pictures all in one spot. Now, sometimes you may want to remove the background. They do have a new tool, and I haven't used this a lot, but and maybe we'll use it on a different one. But what you can do is you can remove the background. It turns it to a white background. We'll show that on a different one where it'll be a little more obvious what's going on. So after that, I double check the listing. Now the way our workflow works, as I was saying earlier, Marie will go ahead and list the shoe and put in everything except the pictures. Then she passes it off to me, and I take the pictures and finish up the listing from there. So I'll just double check that she had an 8.5. That's what the shoe said, so that's good. We'll double check that everything is right, that our business rules are right, that our price is right, our returns accepted, 30-day returns, we do those. PayPal Media, that's just the name of our business rule. Calculated shipping, we do shipping on, the buyer pays shipping on every shoe we sell generally. There's very few exceptions to that. Shoes are heavy, and you got to get paid for it. If you can work it into the price and do it full price, but because they're heavy, sometimes a shoe going to California will cost $17 or $20, and the same shoe going to Atlanta, which is not very far from us, is maybe $8. So it's just it's one of those things that's hard to estimate what the price would be. So rather than just put the price way up there, we just do calculated shipping. So if it's in California and it's going to be $20, the buyer will see that it costs $20. Now, we probably lose a few sales in California that way, but at the end of the day, we don't lose money on shipping generally. Some people pick a happy medium. They might put like $10 or $11 built into the price for shipping and do free shipping. Problem with free shipping is, for us, is that when somebody returns a shoe because they didn't like it, or clothing because they didn't like it, we have to pay for it to come back because we do free returns. But if they, if they had free shipping, that means they don't pay for any of the shipping. But if they return it because they don't like it and they paid for the shipping, they do not get their shipping money back that they paid. We pay for them to ship it back to us, but they have to pay for the original shipping. They don't get refunded that. And it's set up, it's disclosed. It's not something that we pull on the back end, and it's pretty common that that's the way it works. Now, if they say it's item not described, then they'll get all their money back, including the original shipping. So a lot of people know that, and they try to say, okay, well, we'll just say it wasn't described. I didn't like it was supposed to be aqua blue and it was more marine blue, kind of thing. And they get their money back that way. eBay lets them, and we don't generally fight it. And what are you going to do? It happens once in a while. It's not an occurrence that happens so much that you got to, deal with it all the time. It's cost of doing business. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and list this one. Double check it. Yep. Okay, we're good. I'm going to list it, and we'll go on and do another picture. And maybe I'll show you how to do the, say I'm done. And this one will kick us back to our full listings, our active listings. And there's that shoe that we just did. So we're good there. Okay. And let's go back to our drafts again. And this is, like I say, we have a lot of drafts because Marie does all the drafts ahead of time, and then I do the pictures, and all in one swoop. Now, let's try this one here for removing the background. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see what it does today. The way this works is you click on this little icon over here on the far right, and you bring it in as close as you can and try to crop it, as close as you can to where you want to cut this, so it knows where your item is and what's not background. And sometimes it works, sometimes especially if you've got a lot of contrast in your background, or you've got a pretty good clean white background like we do here. Click continue, and it will magically take away all the thing. Now you can use this little brush here and kind of like take out spots. I don't know, this one looks pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about it. But you can take that brush and go around the edges and that kind of thing. I don't usually use it. If it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't work, and when it doesn't work, I just say, forget it. I'm just going to move on. I'll do it manually. So anyway, we'll save that. So that looked pretty good. You can do this with everything, like if you wanted to. I find it just about as fast, though, just to do this. If your pictures are halfway decent to start with, and they don't come out of the camera, they come out of the camera looking better than they do here. They get compressed when they go into eBay, and it sometimes kind of messes them up. So you have to tinker with them a little bit, but it's not that bad. You just go ahead. I usually, like say, I just do a little bit of contrast on it, and then bring this up a little bit. There you go. And more there. Yeah, kind of up there. Okay, save that one. Move on to the next. So it's a pretty fast process, and just like before, we're just going to go in here, and I don't know why this is. I think it maybe my screen grab thing is messing with me a little bit on this. For some reason, this one don't want to move like it should. Let's see here. Let's try this again. Oh, there it goes. I don't know what that was. That was weird. I don't know if the eBay has a mind of its own, but that's okay. Alright, so we'll go there. And we'll go ahead and highlight again. And there we go. Just like that. Okay. And just a piece of cake, just keep going through. That's what I mean. You could actually do this with the magic eraser thing, but if you shoot it on a white background, you get a decent picture of it. You're fine. And I do these just in my Android phone or my Samsung. It's nothing special. It's not even an iPhone or anything fancy. It's just a regular old Samsung phone, Galaxy, whatever, 20 something. And it does fine. And I used to be a professional photographer, so I kind of had a problem using just my phone when I first started doing this. I used a 35 millimeter, or not really 35 millimeter, but a DSLR, digital DSLR. And I have a couple of those, and I have really nice cameras that I can use. But I found that it was so much better just working through this with the phone, because you could instantly upload it all to eBay and right there in the phone after you took them. And the workflow was just so much better with the phone. And actually, Marie said, why don't you just try using your phone sometime? Because I kept struggling with having to take the card out, put it in a laptop, and upload it back. And oh my goodness, it was just a lot of work, and again, it's just the more time is money. So the more stuff you can do, I don't worry too much about these pictures. The more stuff you can do, that doesn't take as much time, the more money you can make, or the more time you can have to do something that you'd really rather be doing other than this. So, like, here's a good example of kind of the background. Sometimes you can't really white out this without washing out the picture. I'm going to see if this one will work. Okay, so you see here, it's kind of like we still got the stands in here, and if I go in here and try to really wipe out that stand, it makes it really contrasty and harsh. So I'm just going to cancel that. And what I'll do is I'll try to use this tool again, the background remover. So I'll put it down just about there, and maybe we'll leave it up there. Okay, that's good, because there's nothing up there. We'll see if that gets rid of some of the stand stuff. See, yeah, that made it much nicer. Got rid of the stand. So if you got this dark shadow, sometimes you get a dark shadow up here. It's a good way to get rid of it. So, just a helpful tip there. All right, I think we're done with this one. So and you see that looks much better there. Okay. And again, we'll double check everything one more time. Let's see, it's pre-owned. Great shoes. We don't put a lot of stuff in the description. Nobody reads them half the time anyway. I've seen people with like tons of disclaimers and all kinds of crazy stuff. We put like great shoes, great pants, whatever. We don't put a lot in there, and we still sell plenty. So, I mean, maybe if we put more in, it might help. I don't know. What do you think? Put it in the comments if you think there's something we could be doing better with that. This is the weight, the calculators. This is what we're doing, the package dimensions. We put 3 pounds and, estimated up. Usually most shoes are about 3 pounds. Some really lighter ones are 2, but they're between 2 and 3 generally. Boots, maybe 4 and 5. So we have a scale that we're using when we list this stuff. So, we just put it on the scale and then estimate about a half a pound for a box and packing and stuff. And this is 14 by 7 by 5 is the post office priority mail shoebox. So that's where that comes from. And we return, accepted, okay, and that good stuff. All right, so it looks like that's good to go. Immediate payment, and let's list it. So that's our workflow with how we do this. And you'll see when we come back to the main screen here that taking a little bit of time to do these pictures they really make them stand out so much better. You see all these that we've done here, all hats and shoes and whatever. It's all got that white background, and that helps Google searches for coming in organically off of Google, and it also helps for eBay likes it that way too. You don't have to do it that way. Some people want to put fancy backgrounds and stuff like that in it, but really all they're looking at is the product. They don't care about what kind of little plants and animals and stuff in the background and boards and wood and concrete and whatever else people put behind them. But so anyway, our philosophy is just keep it simple and just go ahead and focus on what you're trying to sell, not the background in your photography. So I had to kind of back off from worrying too much about photography when I started doing this, because again, if you add up how many we've sold times 10 pictures or so, I've taken a lot of pictures, and it would take me forever if I tried to make them all perfect. So don't worry about them being perfect. Don't worry if the background's not solid, perfect white. You can tweak that at the end, but if you can, it's not the end of the world either. So anyway, all right, so let's do one more here. Let's go for my drafts and see. I don't have anything really difficult here. Most shoes are pretty easy sometimes, I think, to photograph. So we'll go in here. And again, I just click on it, and I'm going to do the contrast thing. Mess with that a little bit, bring up the light just a little bit, make it nice and sharp, and you kind of get a feel for when it's right again. And again, bring contrast up, bring the lighting up just a little bit on it, and we're good there. Okay. They don't have to be perfect, and some people, don't do every single picture like this. I mean, I do. I don't know. It's just a point of pride, I guess. I don't know. I feel like if you take the time to do these little details, sometimes they pay off in the end. Now, so this one, and a lot of people ask why we do the ruler shot. It just kind of gives you a point of reference for where, how big that shoe is. Sometimes you may want to know, how high it's going to ride up your ankle or compare it to another shoe or whatever. It's just one measurement we do this real quick, and I just sort of have worked it in my routine, so I naturally do it. It's more important on boots and heels and things like that when you're trying to show the heel height, but it's not really a distractor for anything else. So I just sort of, rather than do it only on the ones that need it, I just do it on everything. And that way it's part of my routine. I don't have to think about it. I just naturally grab the ruler after the second shot, and there it is, So that's just my workflow. You do whatever you want to. You don't have to take it at all, actually. Some people, when we first started this early on, people would ask us, well, like in heels especially. We don't sell a lot of heels, but we did in the early days. And people ask, well, how high is the heel? And I know it says it's a 3-inch heel, but whatever. How high is the boot come up on your leg? Those kind of things. It's just another thing that gives people peace of mind, knowing that they're buying something that's probably going to fit them or it's going to look good on them or whatever. So that's kind of what we do. So yeah, again, on these, we're just going through here, tweaking up. I always do the bottom of the shoes too, because people want to see the soles. They want to see what it looks like if it's worn out or whatever. So we try to do that. We don't generally see this Y here. We don't generally take these marks off, and it's just sort of our way of loss prevention. If somebody tries to send us a shoe that isn't our shoe, we would know it because that Y or whatever, those are Goodwill marks is what they are. They're from Goodwill, most of those Ys. So we don't break our neck trying to get those off. It's 8.5. I'll make a mental note of that. That's an 8.5. No, let's move to the next one. Yeah, it's a blurry 8.5, but it's an 8.5 no less. Let's see what we can do with that. Let's see if this is a sharpen tool here. It's supposed to focus things better. It does somewhat, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you be the judge. I don't know. Do it just for fun. It looks a little better, I guess. And that's it. So there we go. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll be happy to do my best to answer them for you. And again, thanks for watching.